Hello adventurers! Today I'm going to talk about my CFMOTO 450MT. This will not be a review because I have already done that. Talking about the features of the bike, this video will be about my user experience. My bike has 16,000 kilometers now, 1 year, and I will tell you about all the issues, all the solutions, all the problems that I found. It's going to be a long video, but I will address all the topics that I find relevant and that I think you will like to know. So let's get on with it. Let's talk about suspension. Like I said on my first reviews, I think that this bike has a very good suspension, but it feels like a short blanket. So when you tune it for speed, you lose a bit of low speed comfort, of flush. When you tune it for comfort, you lose the ability of riding super fast on hard terrain. In my case, I like soft suspension, I like comfortable suspension, but I also like to ride fast. So in the end, I end up with a setting that is, let's say, stiff enough for me to do the things I like to do, but never plush enough to be as comfortable as I wanted. For instance, on these rocks, as you can see, the bike is handling it super well. It's very stable. I'm riding with one hand. But I can feel all of them. Like it's not hitting the stones. Like it's comfortable-ish, but it's not a magic carpet. Like a stock T7 with its soft suspension would go through this road, and you would feel maybe like a vibration on the handlebar. And mine it's working. You can feel the suspension working. So yeah, more than enough for almost everyone. Not so bueno if you want the best of both worlds on every situation. Regarding spring rates, I think this is one of the best bikes when it comes to spring rates. But unless you weigh like, I don't know, 110 kilos plus gear, probably you can just set the suspension to your liking. You don't have to go and switch springs and shit like that. I could be wrong, but at least this bike does it better than most. That is for sure. Yeah, so let's talk about the thing that bothers a lot of people, the power. For off-roading, I think this bike does not lack power whatsoever. This has enough horsepower to power slide on every turn that you want. You can use the throttle to lift or at least alleviate the front on any jump, rock, or hole. So it's a very active bike. Like it's not scary powerful. No, it's not a bike that gives you the like adrenaline spikes because it's so powerful. You're not afraid of it, which is a good thing in my book. But there's always enough juice to make the bike work as a bike. So you can accelerate through stuff, you can jump, you can power slide. So all the requirements are there. It's just not super exciting. This bike is on a sweet spot that I really enjoy. On road, this bike satisfies me, but I understand completely when people say that it's not enough for to carry a passenger for very long distance. I mean, if your expectations are to go from here to there, 300 miles or 500 kilometers at 150 kilometers an hour, yeah, no, this is not the thing. But if this is a bike you want to use for commuting, off-roading, and then one day, who knows, go to Mongolia and take your time, enjoy the views, ride on secondary roads at 90, 100, 120, then this is perfect because it does that with a lot of what's the name? A lot of dignity. It's very comfortable up to 120 kilometers an hour. Top speed probably 150, but you're inside the red line. That's also another interesting thing to say. So the thing is, this bike does not complain at all when it's close to the red line. It's I'm a guy that likes to ride at low revs, and you can, like most of the time off-road, I'm below 5,000 RPMs. The thing is, this bike takes you to and beyond the red line without warning. Like you don't realize you are reaching the red line because the power that this bike produces It's very linear. Like you don't feel that you are reaching the point where you need to change gears. Like it just goes. And actually, quite happily, she doesn't complain. I don't feel that I'm hurting. But it doesn't vibrate. It doesn't give you any hints of suffering. It just goes on and on and on and on and on and on, and then it starts cutting because you reach a rev limit. And I love that because that means that this engine is well built, is well put together. So nice. The cooling system on this bike is also very, very good. Like when I'm running at 30, 40, 60 k's an hour, very often this bike is this one. This bike is at 83 degrees, 85, and today it's like maybe 35 degrees outside. It's a hot day. The bike is always below 90. It only reaches 90 degrees on very, very technical situations on a very hot day. And because the fan comes on at 90, it never goes beyond 90. I've never seen this bike actually beyond 92 or something degrees. That's crazy. On a cold day, on road, I usually get in the 60s. That's how cold the coolant liquid is. It's unbelievable. And I think that's a sign of reliability. I could be wrong, but it's not a bad thing, that's for sure. It's not lightweight, 195 kilos fully fueled, so with a full tank. It's not heavy either, but the weight is very well distributed. Like you forget about the weight on this bike. Like it's quite nice. When you drop it, it's not the easiest bike to lift. I would say that the KTM 890 it's easier, even if it's heavier, because the bike rests on the fuel tank, so it's not completely flat. It's kind of in a 30-degree angle, so it's very easy to pick up. This one lays flat like a Tenere, so not super easy to pick up, but also not that hard because it's not that heavy. It's very flickable, but at the same time heavy enough to be stable and comfortable. You can put weight on it, you can put luggage, and you don't really feel the weight. It behaves like a big bike in that sense, like it tolerates weight really well. It's a well-constructed bike, has a nice chassis, a nice frame. The braking system. I've heard people complain that the brakes are meh. To be honest, I still think these brakes are top of their class. This bike brakes really, 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 really well. Really, not, I mean, I'm not even gonna say for the price or for the class. Like this bike brakes well. I don't know. Does a good job. Does a very good job. The electronics, I've also seen people complain that the bike is like saying that it has done 1,000,000 kilometers and stuff like that. The only thing I can complain about is that the fuel gauge, when it reaches the low levels, is not very precise. Sometimes it will say you have, I don't know, 0 kilometers left, but then you turn off the bike, turn on again, and now you have 60. So very KTM-ish in that sense. But other than that, flawless electronics. I love the fact that you can turn the ABS and the traction control on and off with a single button while you ride. You don't need to stop the bike. And honestly, I cannot go back. I cannot own a bike now that does not allow me to do that. Regarding the electronics, I have to mention also the quality of life characteristics of this bike. So I didn't use it yet, but you have Google Maps mirroring on the screen. So this is high tech, or no, not high tech, but high-end technology that you usually wouldn't see on a cheap bike like this. Also, it has a integrated GPS and a wireless signal, so I can be in the other side of the country and know exactly where my bike is at any given moment, updated, I don't know, every minute, every second, I have no idea, but it's like quick updates. I know if someone touches my bike, I get a vibration warning. I know if someone is riding my bike, I know if that person is over revving, how fast they are going. It records the tracks. Like this is pretty nice, a pretty nice feature. Yeah, so my bike is 15,600 kilometers at the moment, 1 year old, exactly 1 year actually. Most of them done off-road. Like this is my life. I'm a guide and an instructor, so there's a little bit of road here and there, but overall 70% at least is off-road at medium speeds, I guess. Medium difficulty, wet, dry, sandy, rocky. I got it all, and the bike has no signs of deterioration whatsoever. Like the only thing that does not look good. I mean, except for the scratches, of course. I fell a couple of times. There are some scratches. It's the little discs of the ABS lost their paint and they are rusty a little bit. That specific part, everything else on this bike is mint. Mint. There's no rust. There's nothing coming loose. I'm not losing screws. This is a high quality bike. From my experience at least. I only had two issues, well, the same issue twice. The rear wheel bearing gone bad at around 7,000 kilometers, and then again at 12,000. And there's a reason for that. So someone discovered that the wheel spacer is a little bit too small or too thin or too I don't know, too wide. It's not right just by like a fraction of a millimeter. So it lets water and dust go into the bearing. But a shout to Rally Raid products. They sell the new spacer with the right dimensions. I ordered mine, but I didn't install it yet. I think it's normal to get a bad bearing after all the mud and the jumps and the gravel and all of those things, because that's all I do. Yeah, quite good. And I expect other bearings to go bad pretty soon, as they would on any other bike, I guess. Well done, muchacho. Go, 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 go. Oh, stand, 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 stand. Ah! Henry is struggling a little bit. You can do this, man. There you go. Stand, 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 stand. Well done, well done. Woohoo! Yeah, I had to change the transmission when the bike had around 12,000 kilometers, but that's not a transmission issue, it's a Diogo issue, because I don't oil my chain that often, I don't clean it, I don't wash it. I don't have the time for that, the patience and the will. So my transmission kits never break any records. One thing I noticed. So I never had what's the name of this shit? The steering damper on my bikes before, and on this bike I felt that I needed one. So this bike is stable, this bike is nice, whatever, but at high speeds, sometimes I would hit something and lose control of the front wheel. Like the front wheel would start tank slapping, basically. And I never had that on a motorcycle before. I mean, not often. And on this bike, it happened to me a few times. And I tried to fix it with adjusting the suspension, tire pressure, different tires. And some of the things helped, of course, when you adjust the suspension to try to prevent that specific problem. You can get some improvements, but I was still feeling that, and that's a very big issue. Like that's a thing that can cause a very hard crash. So I bought AliExpress steering damper specific for this bike with the specific brackets. It costed me, I think, 220 euros, and the problem is gone. I don't like to camouflage problems with extra parts, but I did what I could. I played with the dynamics of the bike, the height of the front suspension. I did what I could. The bike was almost perfect, but still, yeah. And I with the steering damper, the bike just became perfect. I never, ever, ever had again uh, tank slaps. The bike became more stable overall. So yeah, a big fan of the steering damper. Solved the problem and improved the bike in general. So the other modification that I've done is the rally seat. I am not that tall. I am 1 meter 80. And with the stock seat, I was sitting too down low. My knees were too high. And even though I appreciate being able to reach the ground easily with my feet, I think having a more upright position, a bit more sitting on top of the bike and not inside the bike, helped me a lot. So yeah, big fan of the rally seat as well. And I think there's one thing I can say about this bike, and it's uncommon, which is I haven't found a single dumb thing on the bike. Like many bikes, you look at them and you ask, why would they put the air filter here, or why does it have 7 screws, or why are the screws upside down? You know, dumb things that you cannot really understand, and you think that the engineers were a bit stupid. I didn't find that yet on this bike. Like, there's not a single thing that I question yet. Like, everything makes sense, everything is efficient, everything is easy to disassemble, except the front fairings. Like, they are a bit complex. Like, one fits inside the other. You have like 12 screws. It's not completely dumb, it's just a bit maybe over-engineered a little bit, which is a good thing, I guess. Depends on who you ask. So yeah, so no dumb shit. Well done, CFMOTO. Well done. Yeah. So what else can I say? It's a great bike. It's a great bike. It's, from my perspective, very well built. I don't see any issues with it. Anything significant. It's a privilege to be able to nowadays to get access to something like this for this kind of price. And I'm also extending this to other motorcycles, not just this one, but the things we have available right now in the market. It's almost too good. Like normal people riding for fun, for leisure, and not for racing, we almost had no business having access to such good, comfortable, performant motorcycles, and reliable too. We are blessed with the technology of nowadays. Well done. I must praise CFMOTO. I think they did a very good job, and overall their bikes seem to be very well constructed. Yeah, very good bang for the buck, and now I've said everything I wanted to say.